Hello, my name is Grian, and today we're going to be making a gingerbread house. This build is very simple to make, but it's not going to look very good until we're finished with the whole thing. So let's not dawdle, let's get straight into it, and I'm going to start off by making a lovely sort of Christmas setting with a bunch of snow and a few little hills here and there, because a gingerbread house in a grassy plain is not going to look like it fits very well. So I've just used Voxel Sniper just to create a few fake hills in my flat world, and I'm adding snow everywhere, and you'll see me use a few voxel techniques to make the snow have different layers. It's not really that important because in your world you could just find a snowy biome. Really simple. And I'm just going to decorate my world with a little bit of the Christmas trees that we made in the last video, so if you want to know how to make them really quickly, just go and check that video out. I just made the small one and then copy pasted them all over my little snowy area, and you can see that I've left an area in the middle there for me to build my gingerbread house. So the first bit is quite simple. We're going to set ourselves a small base, and in the corner we're going to make candy canes as supports rather than the log frame that we normally do. So interspersing quartz block and redstone block, they really look like lovely little candy canes because they're quite bright. So now I'm just going to finish laying the foundation of the house, trying to get that shape right. On a gingerbread house, you're going to want to have one main rectangle and then possibly have these little outhouses that I've got either side of my house just to sort of give it a bit more shape, and you can edit these later. And as you can see, I'm adding candy canes in all the corners. At the back there, I'm actually going to extend that out a couple of blocks so that I can add 2 candy canes either side of that as well, and again it gives it that extra layer of depth. Really important to strike that depth in your builds. So now I'm going to be doing the roof, and you may notice that this is a very old way to do roofs. No one does this anymore, but I'm using just the block, and I'm using spruce because it looks the closest to ginger in my opinion, but I'm using just the block and not the staircase, which is really crucial, and you'll find out later if you're questioning it now. Some of you may even guess why we're doing it. So now you can see that the shape is starting to come together despite not having a full wall yet. But we just need to finish off the roof, which is really easy. It's just extending those blocks all the way along. Don't even have to worry about staircases being the right way. But one thing we can do is use the quartz staircase upside down to simulate the icing that you would use to connect gingerbread house bits together. I thought it was a clever use of the block to try and make the gingerbread house look more and more like a gingerbread house. After all, that is what we're trying to do here. Using staircase underneath your roof will help combat some of that very juggedy feel to the roof underneath, at least, before we do what we're going to do later to make it look better. And as you can see, I've just filled in the walls. Don't need to explain too much there. I trust that you can make walls on a house. So now we're going to go ahead and start detailing a little bit more. Adding more of the icing that's going to connect up all the pieces is really crucial to this build because it really simulates that gingerbread feel. And on this bit here, I'm actually going to have to shift my wall back a block so that I'm able to put that icing underneath the roof as a connector there. And I'm actually placing these blocks back to front so that they overhang into the visible area just beneath the roof. And now I need to quickly do some detailing for the house. I'm going to make a really quick entrance using quote icing. Of course it's just quartz block. But there's a lot of things that we can do to now make this gingerbread house look like a gingerbread house. Apart from finishing off adding all of the icing that goes in between the roof connecting parts, you can also layer some icing on the top of the roof just to give it that extra colour and make it look even more like a gingerbread house. And now, as you can see, I'm layering snow on top of the roof to try and make it look even more Christmassy. I mean, it can't get much more Christmassy than this, and that is exactly why we only use the block instead of the staircase, so that we can layer snow all over the top to make it look really great. And I think this is a fantastic technique, and I don't really see people use blocks for roofs anymore, so this wouldn't normally be possible because you can't place snow on top of a staircase block. I also decided to add a little dormer, nothing too complicated there, you should be able to manage that on your own. And again, I'm just continuously placing more and more snow on top of the roof, and it's going to take a little while because, as you know, if you've placed snow before, you have to place a lot of it to bring it up to height, and I am just doing random height on this build. It's really easy to do, and as you can see, that's made a huge difference to the colour and contrast of the gingerbread house. Now at the front here, I'm just doing a very simple shape that's a crosshatch to make it look like a window, and the scale is rather big. I'm using spruce staircase in order to acquire these shapes. If you missed on how to do that properly, not a problem, there's going to be plenty more to detail later, but for now, let's talk about the roof a little bit more. I want to make a brick chimney because you do actually get these in gingerbread houses, and they are a must have. So I've added a really simple brick chimney in the middle of the house and added some smoke made out of stained glass panes. And here I am making again another one of those windows that are going to be the primary decoration of my gingerbread house. And then I go on to make a very simple pile of logs that are just act as a decoration and cover them with minecart rails. I then go on and make a bunch more of these windows, and that's going to be the story for the next 30 seconds or so, because that's the primary source of detailing, but I do tend to add some things there. You might even notice that I've put some stained glass in an item frame to simulate sort of red baubles. Although they don't look fantastic, they do add something. So kind of all we have to do now is detail the rest of the walls in a similar manner to we have already. So just adding a few windows here and there, up the top adding those windows made out of the spruce staircase, adding some leaves here and there, and I am going to add a lovely little walkway just made out of gravel, and sort of on the sides add more snow so it looks like someone's shoveled it out. It's all about creating an atmosphere, and all these little details put together really do that nicely. So again, there's more of the windows if you didn't know how to make them already, and you should do by now. It's really easy to quickly put a gingerbread house together. Unfortunately, I haven't done the inside, but you were probably expecting that, to be honest, from me, who does little to no interior whatsoever. But as you can see, this gingerbread house has come together really nicely, and we're just about finished once we've finished these last little bits of detail, adding those little lamps and stuff, and it all looks really, really pretty. And that's it. It's really nice. Now imagine this gingerbread house without all the snow and the trees around it. It wouldn't look as nice at all. So part of the gingerbread house is having the atmosphere to go with it, and I think it actually looks really, really cute. Despite being just made out of spruce wood, I think with a little bit of imagination you can see it as gingerbread, and it looks so Christmassy, and I love getting into the festive spirit. So if you wanted to see any more Christmas builds, please let me know. That's all I've got for Christmas ideas, if I'm honest. I could do a Santa's grotto, a Santa's sleigh, something like that, but again, I don't want to spam the channel too much. I do have a nice ship tutorial that I'm working on, and I think that would be really nice because people love to make boats in Minecraft. But if there's any other ideas that anyone has, whether it be a build school, building with Grian, tips and tricks video, whatever you want, I'm down to do, because at the end of the day, I upload videos to try and fulfill your Minecraft building needs. And also, I have got a few Let's Plays coming out, so hopefully you do enjoy those as well. Try and give them as much support as you give me on my building stuff. And if you're here, again, listening to my voice at the end of the video, that means you've watched it all the way through, and I am very, very grateful for that. Thank you very, very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye!